Welcome, everyone, to episode 125 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision, 1H1D. I am Chris.
And I am Tom.
And we take 60 minutes and play a random game on Xbox Game Pass and decide, well, is playing cricket worth our time?
I think you got to know what a crumpet is to know what cricket is.
That's a fair point. This episode, we're going to be talking about Cricket 22 by Big Ant Studios, all the way from Australia.
So we've got crickets and ants, but this is not a game about bugs.
No, there are no bugs in this game at all. Well, maybe on logos. But this game came out back in December of 2021. And as usual, play this on the PC. 45.1 gigabytes on the PC. Tom, what about you?
Look at those savings on the Xbox Series S. 44.8 gigabytes. So, save yourself 300 megs and play it on the Series S.
Those Aussies know what to do with those those few megabytes. I don't know. But what game is this?
I put sports.
Yes, it is sports. I put sports sim because you kind of simulate the game.
You do,
Sport.
but it is a little arcadey though too, wouldn't you say?
Well, that's one option. That's one way of playing it.
Aha.
You can. So I don't know. Whatever it is. Yes. Regardless, it is sports. And what sport? Cricket. The game that only so many countries understand how to play. But that's fine. But what is that game loop, Tom?
I learned that you alternate between bowling and batting to play through a match.
Yes. I wrote win the game somehow.
I mean, yes. Or lose it.
Or lose. You know what? You can lose. That's true. There are winners and losers. There's no in between here. Or is there?
I don't know. Can you have a draw in cricket?
I don't know, because apparently I still don't know. But let's get into those likes. What did you like about this game, Tom?
I appreciated that when I booted up this game, it asked me if I wanted to synchronize my rosters with the real world players in the sport. So, hey, it's official. It's got rosters from all the different leagues throughout the world. So it's kind of a big deal.
It's a big deal. And it's cool because it isn't now considered an older game. So the fact that they're still allowing you to synchronize the rosters is nice, because sometimes those companies, EA or 2K, tend to lock you out of certain things because they want you to buy the newest and greatest game. That's cool that they have that. I liked the fact that this game was, well, I guess it's almost a double-edged sword, but we'll talk about that. The deep customization in this game, it was unbelievable because I only got a chance to go through the career mode, but right off the bat, you're just like, you can choose between playing the game as a single player or play the game as a team. So almost like a GM mode, I'm assuming. And then I picked create a character. So the amount of customization you could do with the character for this type of game was just unreal. The shirts that you wore, the like even your arm hair, like you could put the amount of arm hair. It was absolutely insane what you could do with the customization in this game. Did you get lost in the sauce of the customization, Tom?
So I got to the career mode late. I didn't discover it until after I had already played a match and all done through the tutorial. Yeah. But I saw some of what you were talking about, and I was very impressed. I was like, this could be my kryptonite right here. Like in terms of the level, like you said, the level of customization is intense. Like I've dabbled in some of the EA sports games and creating a character and that sort of stuff. And this is that. Like I didn't expect it because it isn't published by some mega publisher. Right. But it has a really, like you said, a very deep customization options. Like,
oh yeah, definitely. And like forget about the player. Then you can go in and when you create your team, you can pull from which is another thing, like the roster, the amount of teams that are available, because it's from very a variety of different countries, and each country has their own leagues, and you can pick those leagues. And it's like I was really blown away by that. And the other thing I thought was pretty good when we're actually talking about the gameplay, I thought the batting itself was pretty satisfying because it's a little bit of like I finally figured it out near the end of my playthrough, but like you had to match up the colors with the way that the bowler was throwing the ball to you. But like I was always just trying to do a power power swing that
Power every time.
Yes, but it was satisfying though. It was a good kind of rock paper scissors in a way of playing the game. But I don't know how you felt about that.
Appreciated that the game kind of walked me through it, and
Mhm.
also did the tutorial is like, don't worry, this will be relatively quick. I appreciate when because sometimes you get into a tutorial and the tutorial is our whole hour. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I like that it broke down like the batting, and then it did the bowling, and then it did the fielding. So
Yeah.
it's like the various aspects of how you play cricket. And
Right.
it's like, okay, we're going to do this first, and then
Yep.
we're going to teach you how to do this. And it's like, okay. And like you said, like I got kind of the handle on batting, and I was like, all right. And then
Yep.
it's like, okay, now that you know how to do that, let's move on, and you're going to do bowling.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, and now if you're not doing either of those things, and the ball's coming at you, like how do you field it? Where do you throw it? That sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked that it broke that all down into kind of chunks.
Agreed. Yeah. The tutorial was good. It was a good like the fact that they had you do all that stuff, and it was voiceover too, which I thought was interesting. You don't really see that often, so that was kind of cool that they did that. And like if you did something wrong, you immediately you got some sort of feedback, because at the bottom there was like the little like 2 indicators, I think, that would tell you if how far you were, like in terms of timing and stuff like that. So
were you late? Were you early? Were you
exactly? So. And kind of going back into the career mode, I thought this was the times that I have played like NBA 2K or whatnot. It was very much a 2K light in terms of career mode. You again, talking about how you can play as a player or team. Like, I don't know how far it is because I only played the first hour, but like the fact that there was almost like a story, like an RPG element to it. So you'll play through your matches. You'll have like these custom, like these dialogue interactions with like your coach, your agent, stuff like that. And then you go to practice. You do stuff like you can work out, gain ability points from doing that. So it was pretty cool.
I like when they mix the RPG into the sports game.
Yeah.
I play RPGs, not sports games.
Right. So it's like it potentially can draw that kind of crowd into the game.
Yeah, totally.
So what else did you like, Tom?
Appreciated that the difficulty was very fine tunable. You could adjust the difficulty of the batting, or the difficulty of the bowling, or the difficulty of the fielding. And that it also had kind of more general, like, do you want to just play this in arcade mode? Do you want to play this in a standard mode? Do you want to play this like you're doing this professionally?
Right.
So I liked that they had kind of big picture difficulty options, but also if you wanted to go in there and really tweak it and be like, okay, I'm having real difficulty with this, that all the way down, but leave other things in the medium or hard mode. So
this kind of reminds me of, I guess Benjamin, Last Case of Benedict Fox, where again, like they had a couple of options, but then like you could tweak certain elements, which was cool. So yeah, it's nice when they kind of give you the toggles to kind of play around with, So yeah, what was this thing you said? Discover it late. It's that was your career mode character customization. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Anything else you wanted to talk about, or shall we go to our dislikes?
I'm ready to start telling you things I didn't like, Chris.
All right. Well,
I'll start with the language, and I don't mean curse words. I mean, I have no idea what these guys are saying. Like, are they talking English? I think it's in English. I'm pretty sure I selected English as my setting. I don't know any of these terms or words.
I think there's some sort of profanity filter that you could turn on or off. I think I heard someone drop an F-bomb during my playthrough.
Really?
Like someone out in the field. I don't know what it was. I could be wrong. Maybe it was just in my head, but it was really like, wait, did someone just say that? But yeah, they tried to get really realistic with the way that the athletes are. I don't know. Yeah, I thought that, going back to the tutorial.
Yeah.
I had an issue where I got stuck at a certain point. I got stuck during the bowling section of the tutorial. There was one point where I had to try to remember if I had to miss or like do something wrong, and it just wouldn't let me continue. So I just had to actually cancel out. I didn't even get to the fielding section. So I went to the career mode. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but so be it. It is what it is. And that was kind of frustrating for me.
Hey, you found a bug. Wasn't a
Maybe,
cricket or an ant.
it was not that kind. Yes, it was. You're right. Yeah, but that really kind of bummed me out because again, I thought that the tutorial itself was laid out pretty well, but I just wasn't getting this particular section. Yeah. What else, Tom? What else did you think?
I thought it looked pretty crappy.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like the environments, like it was weird. Like the stands are completely empty. Like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
seemed, I don't know. It reminded me of like an old EA Sports game, not
Okay.
like a modern EA Sports game where everything
Yeah.
looks really polished and like super realistic and like it's happening on television.
Right.
This looks like an EA Sports game from like 10 years ago, where it's like this looks not like uncanny, like not quite right.
Right. I don't. So I'm curious if anyone knows this, but like, how do cricket matches work? Like in terms of the crowd, are they? Is it like a very gentlemanly sport where they don't cheer or anything like that? Or they just get really quiet? Yeah, because I see your point about it is quiet. There's no music really throughout the game, which is kind of odd. Yeah, it is kind of weird. When you see empty stands, like they could have just put it even like those fake people cut out people or something. Yeah, but I don't know. It was weird for sure. And I don't know about you. Even though that tutorial was pretty good, I still don't know how cricket works. I was playing a couple of matches and I'm like, am I winning? There are times where, as I was going through the career mode and I would be at bat and I'm like, again, I'm trying to go for my power hits. I'm getting sixes as they were calling it. And then I still somehow was not doing well. Like my particular character was not doing well. I was like, why? I'm knocking this thing out of the park. Why is that a bad thing? So, and the scores like over 100 points and stuff like that. I'm like, where did they get all these points from? So I don't know. I don't get how this game works. I don't know if you've gotten a better understanding of the game, but
it's funny because the tutorial does this really good job of like how you mechanically play the game, but it doesn't do anything to explain the game of cricket at all. Like I'm right there with you. Like I was unclear what was happening like 90% of the time. Like at the end, like a match ended, but I'm not sure if I won or I lost. Like the game was just like, you're done, like no more to play. And I'm like, okay, but like what's the score? And like
there's so much lingo, like you said, that you're just like, I don't know what that means. And again, I mean, I'm just being ignorant. I know I'm being ignorant about the particular sport. What else? Again, I guess kind of a negative for me because getting lost in that customization sauce. I think I was definitely wasting a lot of time on that. And again, as someone that's really interested in cricket and that kind of level of customization, I understand how that could be kind of a good thing for sure. And kind of going back to the game itself, I don't know if you realize this, but certain games can go on for days. Like
what?
You just continue that particular game. I was like, wait, what? I think that happened once in my career where it's like, oh, it's over for today. And you just come back the next day.
You keep playing the same game?
I think so. So it's like, how does this work? Make it make sense. I don't know. But we're probably making a lot of cricket people very upset right now, but that's okay.
I would think so. And it makes me wonder, Chris, right? If someone who had no experience with, let's say, baseball went and picked up MLB The Show and started to play it, does it explain baseball at all, or just does it just kind of go, nah, you know what baseball is, you're American, and just kind of assume, right, that if you're playing Cricket 22, you probably like cricket. Otherwise, why are you playing this?
Right.
So I wonder if there's just some natural assumption.
They do have a pretty, like the tutorial tells you like you said, the mechanics of how to play the game.
Yeah.
Does it not tell you how to play the game, quote unquote? No, I don't think it did. At least in my playthrough, I don't think it did a good job about that. But I think actually the voiceover tells you, like, there's a lot of intricacies with this game that we won't really go over. But it's like, okay, I guess that's good. But I mean, I'm glad they pointed that out. I am glad that they pointed that out, though, because it is a pretty intricate game. For all you do, right? All you do is you hit the ball, you throw the ball, and you catch the ball. Those are the three main things that you do in this game. But there's so much more to it than that. I have no idea. But any other dislikes here that you want to bring up, Tom?
I think you mentioned it briefly, which is that it was straight, like the sound mix was weird to me. Like I'd hear footsteps, but not any noises from any of the batters and bowlers.
Right.
Like it was like, I don't know if my game's audio got out of sync or if that's just, it was weird. It was weird because I'd hear like certain sound effects, but not like, it didn't feel complete. Felt like I was missing half the sounds or something.
For what it was, again, I'm surprised how polished this game was. But you know, I'm very ignorant about this particular sport and the types of people that play this type of game. So, you know, maybe it's been like this for quite some time, and they just keep getting better at it. You know, Big Ant Studios knows what's up, apparently. But let's talk about those other thoughts here, Tom. I will say this game does have cloud gaming, but you need a controller. This does have couch and online play. And get this, though. This game actually has cross-gen compatible playthrough as well. So you can play on a PC with someone on the regular Xbox One or all the way up to Series X. So it's pretty cool. Not many games do that. So
yeah, that's surprising.
So I'm glad that they kind of did that. How long to beat, says this game. The career mode takes 23 hours to beat. So good. That's a good sizable amount of time that you can get playing just a career mode. Any other thoughts that you had, Tom?
So again, just want to touch on it briefly. Creating a completely custom team from scratch seems like it could be like super fun for someone like me. And I've played around with this sort of stuff on like Madden or you know, those sorts of games. But I tried the logo tools in this to make my own custom logo, and I was completely lost. I was more lost even than the rules of cricket.
Wow. Was this like what's that? Was it like a livery system, like, you know, like the Forza games and stuff like that, or
you like, it almost has its own like built-in little Photoshop where you work with layers and you set vertices and then you can fill things in. And I was like, this is really complicated. Like, I just want to be able to take a couple of thick, you know, pieces of art and slam it together. And maybe you can do that. Maybe I just hadn't gotten there yet.
You know what? The going back to customization, you can actually import an image for your player's face.
What?
So again, like, there's a lot of cool things that they're doing in this game. I'm like, but I didn't try that. I should have, though. But it is kind of cool that you could do all that stuff.
And I was doing it on the controller, which probably made things quite much more difficult.
That's true.
If you're going to be making custom logos and stuff, you probably want to be doing that with the mouse and a keyboard.
Definitely do. But Tom, we've got to make that decision, don't we? We got to let everyone know: are we going to keep this game or throw it over the field? I don't know. There's something like that.
Bowl it into the grass.
But before we get to that, I do want to thank our sponsor, cdkeys.com, for helping support the show. And you can support us on the show by going to cdkeys.com and checking out all the cool stuff that they have over there. Maybe even Cricket 22 is there. I'm not sure. You can check it out there. With a link in our description, you could do that and, help support the show in any which way you can. But Tom, let's find out, though.
Okay. So I enjoy sports games that are hybrid RPGs. But this game takes up a whole lot of space, and I'm still not sure how to play cricket. So I think I'm going to move on from this. Sayonara cricket.
I'll say this. I was actually really interested in playing this game because, cricket's a game that I've heard about. I've seen people play, like my cousins, stuff like that, were really into cricket and stuff like that. And I'm glad I got to experience this game. And the problem, though, is learning about all the intricacies of cricket. And I probably will have to go watch a YouTube video on explaining to me how a game works. But maybe I'll come back to this. But I don't think so. Until then, I'm probably going to pass on this game.
It's understandable.
Yes. But those are our thoughts. Let us know what you think of this game. Follow us and say hello on Twitter at TC1H1D. Or shoot us an email at TC1H1D@outlook.com. Check out our next streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/1H1D. And if you're watching this on YouTube, send us a comment down below and, we'll try to respond. 1H1D is part of that QTB network. And if you like gaming podcasts and any other really cool gaming content, Check out all that stuff at quitthebuild.com/network.
Woohoo.
Woohoo. So let's find out what the surprise you button has in store for us next, shall we, Tom?
Yes.
Let's do it. Here we go.
Not a sports game.
No, not a sports game. It is a slime game. Slime Rancher 2, apparently. Here we go. Again, a sequel to a game. And it's a double whammy, actually, Tom, because it is a sequel and it is a game preview game. So
great.
There we have it. There we have it. Slime Rancher 2 is next. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into this episode. And we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks, everybody.